Hello YouTube, welcome back to Unloved Autos. Today we are going to take a look at my 1988 Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. From the onset, I will point out that it is black. I normally have a rule against black cars, unless I just can't get one in any other color. I will buy a black car if it's a great deal or other certain circumstances, and this fell into that category. The reason I don't like black is it's so hard to keep clean. We are in lovely downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. There's a bit of noise around here, it seems, today. I guess that's the price I have to pay for having a nice day with no wind for a change. We're between monsoons around here. So, this is the 9th generation Ford Thunderbird. Cars that they made for a very long time. This generation began in 1983 and continued to 1988. The previous generation, which were very square, and frankly not very attractive unless you put some wide tires on them, was the first generation that moved to the Fox platform. Many people know the Fox platform because the Mustangs were on it for many years, from 79 to 93, and then another version of that all the way to 2004. But they moved the T-Bird to that platform for the 8th generation. They didn't sell very well compared to the 77 to 79 generation, which were the biggest sellers of all time for the Thunderbirds. So Ford decided something needed to be done, and they took the drastic step in 1983 of making the Thunderbird very smooth, sleek, aerodynamic. The Ford Taurus came around the same time, and this is just the way it was going to be for Ford for a while. And this car grabbed all kinds of headlines, all kinds of magazine covers, because it was so distinct and so beautiful. Quick side story about myself. The 83 Thunderbirds came out when I was in high school, and I thought they were amazing. And I'll post here in this video somewhere. The new car issue of Car and Driver magazine came out in October of 1983 or 82 for the 83 Thunderbirds. It was on the cover, and that really cemented my love of cars and has gotten me where I am today in terms of this damn addiction and having too many cars. I still have a copy of that that magazine cover on my wall at home. So getting back to this car, 83 to 85, they were very smooth and sleek and so forth. But for 87 and 88, they needed a refresh. And so they got a new front end, new tail end. For the Turbo Coupe, we can see here, it no longer had a grill. It became a mouth breather, sucking from the bottom there. Big old T-Bird in the front. And if we go around to the back, the previous taillights had been sort of just horizontal straight lines, and they really fluffed them up for the T-Bird for 87 and 88. They're bigger. I don't know if you can see it here. They have some horizontal strakes and then 3 circular holes there, and the lights are behind that. Very different for the time, very different for now. And for some reason, only done by Ford for these 2 years. It was such a cool idea. They should have done it for longer. Initially, the Thunderbirds of this generation had 3 engines. The 3.8 liter S6 V6, the 5 liter Windsor, or the 2.3 liter Turbo 4. This car, which was the top of the line, had the Turbo 4. That seems strange. We think that turbo or 4-cylinder engines are kind of lacking. Not the case with this. This is the same engine that was in the 84 to 86 Ford Mustang SVO. And for being just a little run-of-the-mill 4-cylinder engine, it's amazing once you slap that turbo on there. It is so smooth, so quick, very, very fun to drive. This car has 190 horsepower, but it feels like more. Top speed was 143 miles per hour. Has anti-lock brakes all around, 16-inch wheels. They call those snowflake wheels. And it was Motor Trend Car of the Year for 1987. Pretty stout. Sales throughout this generation were pretty consistent in the mid 100,000s range. 87, they sold 128,000, and for 88, the final year of this generation, 147,000. The next year, 89, they went to a new platform altogether, the MN12 platform, which wasn't nearly as sleek and kind of lost some of the pizzazz. There certainly is a lot of traffic for a Sunday afternoon when everything's closed. Anyway, normally I want a Mercury product if there is a same year and style Mercury product available as opposed to the Ford. I just love Mercuries. So people ask, why do you have this Thunderbird? Because there was a Cougar XR7 from this era that was offered. And well, I would rather have the Cougar. Simple fact is, I cannot find a nice one for a fair price. I've been looking for many years, and there are just very few of them out there. They sold in small numbers compared to the Thunderbird, and as a result, most of them are just gone. So this car I found during COVID times on Cars and Biz, the online auction site. It was in August of 2020, and car prices hadn't really started going up yet during COVID times, I guess, at least maybe old used cars. And so I just stole this thing. I got it for the princely sum of $3,900. Just amazing for a car this nice. It has 88,000 miles on it, and the paint is very nice. Not perfect, no car this old is, but very nice. I had to go down to Austin to pick it up. The guy who owned it before me spent a fortune on this car. I thank him for that. He's put in, let's see here. He spent $22.74 for air conditioning, wheel bearings, seals, new radiator, timing belt. One thing that made me really mad, he paid somebody to put this license plate cover on the front. This car managed to go through its first several decades of life with a smooth, clean front end, and this guy decided to put a license plate bracket on it. I don't know whether he is just some sort of rules follower, or he hates cars, or he's afraid of the Austin Police Department, or it's tough to get an inspection without a front license plate down there in that area. I don't know. I appreciate where I live, we don't have all those damn rules. But point is, the front is forever marred. But he spent a lot of money on other things, changed all the fluids out. You never really notice how many new pickups have aftermarket exhausts until you're trying to shoot a video. Go figure. Anyway, he also spent another $1,500 to fix some oil leaks, mass airflow sensor, thermostat, valve cover gaskets, and brand new tires in 2020. So he spent a lot of money on it. And I imagine he was pretty sad once he had to sell it to me for such a low price. Let's take a look at the Thunderbird's interior. As we see here, it has analog gauges showing 88,920 miles. Speedometer only goes to 85, going back to the nonsense from the 80s until it was fixed by the late 80s, early 90s. Has a turbo boost gauge on the left there by the tach, which is pretty cool. When we turn the car on, there's a firm ride light that comes on, also on the tach. It lights up green if you have it set for that particular setting. This car has the fancier radio, has an equalizer, super cool, Ford of course. Ford stereo, so happy to see the original Ford stereo in here. So many folks remove those and put in a tacky aftermarket unit, warms the heart. And there's the AC down there, along with some various lighter and some warning lights. Here's a 5-speed. The console is interesting in this car. We see here we have a lot of things on the console that would normally be on a door. For instance, the windows over the top right there. And it's backwards to me. You push them up to go up and backwards to go down. It just feels like it should be the other way around. Remote mirrors, seat adjustments, power seat adjustments, I should say, as well as the tilt for the seats are all in the middle here. On the door, all we have are the door locks. This car has a very nice dash, uncracked, unmolested. Cloth seats. I usually prefer leather, but Ford really had it going on with the seats in the Fox Mustangs and Thunderbirds and Cougars of that era. They're still in beautiful shape. Back seat, probably never used. Looks perfect. Steering wheel itself, Thunderbird logo on there. And the cruise control, that's about it. This car does have some of the sticky plastic right here that I need to get cleaned up. It's always frustrating when that happens. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. My devotion to car culture was cemented in October of 1982 when the 9th generation Thunderbird appeared on the cover of Car and Driver period. I still have a copy of this magazine today that I keep framed and on my wall, period. It was just such a big deal. Let's jump in and start it. I will note that we have here the Ford remote entry buttons, which I adore. And it's no burble in this car. This Turbo 4 is not loud. There you go. There's that firm ride light that I mentioned earlier. Let's jump out and look under the hood. There it is, the glorious 2.3 liter 4. Notice it has an intercooler on it. That was new for 87 and came over from the Mustang SVO as well. Before that, they didn't have the intercooler. A little bit of wear and tear in this engine, but not bad. Sounds great, runs great. I have no complaints at all about this car, and it's just really fun to drive. Well, there we go, everybody. My 1988 Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. Great car. Next week, what will I have next week? We'll see. Maybe some new car, probably not. Maybe just another one out of the shop we want to give a good look. Anyway, we'll see you later. Till then, drive safely.